Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson. I'm the host of this podcast that's mine. Going to be called History is Dank. History is dank with Strider
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank. This one is different from all the rest. Today, usually we have a guest on here, and this gentleman sitting next to me, you've seen his name in the title. You already know who it is, but today, he is co-hosting with me. Welcome to History is Dank with Luke Null and Strider Wilson. What up?
What up? Good to be here, my dog.
Fired up, dude. We got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks as always.
Absolutely cranking up the jams.
What up, dude?
I love the theme song. Big fan of the theme song.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you are a man of musicality. You have talent. I mean, how would you rate my vocals on that, dude?
Honestly, stylized.
Thank you.
You know, you for what kind of song that was, it fits perfectly, and that's hard to do.
I appreciate that. I've got zero musical ability. I can
Not zero.
Thank you. I can sing in the key of bro.
Yeah, you're like lead singer
Bro.
of Cake level.
Yes. But dude, Cake,
She's going the distance. She's going the speed.
we will meet at Citibank. She will ask to borrow my pen.
Yeah, I wonder if they were like auditioning singers in Cake, and they're like, "This guy's nailing what we're going for." Like,
Yeah, like
guy who talks, "I want a girl with a long jacket," and they're like, "Let's make him the guy."
he's the dude. I mean, he's got, do we say steez? He's got front man.
He's stylized.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you fit the music.
Mm-hmm.
He probably had the van too. Like,
He probably did have some, like, he owned the PA, and they were like, "Oh, dude,
Exactly,
dude, Tyler, we have to let him be in the band. He has the van and he has the PA."
His mom said we can record our album in their garage.
Yeah,
It actually has good acoustics.
Yeah, his dad's no longer with us, so like, and his mom's like never there.
Yeah, he just cleaned up on insurance money, so this band can actually get going, dude. Dude, so what's new with you, my dude? Frickin', let's let the Danktorians get to know Luke a little bit. I mean, you're an absolute beast, touring comedian. We're neighbors.
That's right.
We crush coffees together at Brew. We see our boy Brent. What up? Big shout out.
Big shout out to Brent from Brew. I don't know about you, but I'm a freaking zombie without my Java.
Oh yeah, it's my personality.
It's my whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Danktarians,
Dankatorians.
yeah. I'm a history guy myself. I think the last time I did your pod, I said this, but I accidentally got a history minor in college.
Dude.
Yeah. I took so many history courses as like prereqs for other things that when I was a senior graduating from college, my advisor was like, "You have a history. Do you want a history minor? Did you know what you were doing was towards it?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, "You've taken enough history courses where you have it. I just check a box and you have." So I have a bachelor's of sciences and a history minor.
Let's go. Dude, I famously am an idiot and went the other way. I was lazy where I could have, if senior year, if I would have taken like one more unit each. We do quarter systems in UC schools.
Yeah, we did quarters too.
I could have gotten an acting minor and a history minor, but I was like, nah,
I'm
over it.
You know what's cool though? Is that once you get out of it and you're like a fully formed adult, you go, "Oh, what a dumb thing that doesn't matter at all."
That's what I was banking
Like
on.
literally just say you have a history minor. No one will ever check.
You're not going to check my transcripts. You can't. You don't have the passwords. I don't even remember my passwords to check the transcripts.
Dude, I tried to log into my student account and like eventually after like 10 years, they just like straight delete your edu email. And I'm like, "Oh man, I use that for so much stuff."
I use it for like every time I go to a gym and they want my email, I still use my college edu.
Blast that edu.
Yep.
Is it just your name and then numbers?
Or my
your
name,
initials?
numbers.edu, ucsd.edu, and every gym in multiple states has text Planet Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, whatever mom and pop Stretch Lab, whatever it is, they're all emailing me.
Yeah, that's kind of the same with me, but with X videos, Pornhub, X Hamster, and I'm like, let's use that Ohio.edu thing, and I'm like, and then I lost access to it.
No.
And then I'm like, damn, I had some good saved compilations, dude.
Dude,
They're gone.
You see, you're a man after my own heart. You know, a genius buddy of mine, said this when, it's probably not good advice. I mean, we should probably limit our porn intake. You got to do what you got to do. We're not being our best selves, but look, who doesn't want to see 30-year-olds in love missionary? That's what I search.
30-year-old in love missionary.
Yeah.
I say married in parentheses, not fake, for real married. We'll know if you're lying.
We'll know the difference. Don't fool me. Won't come if I figure out.
And search.
Yes, search. And then I a lot of hits, a lot of heavy hits. My buddy geniusly told me, and I'll let this man, his name remain anonymous, so I don't burn, never burn a proper spy.
That's right.
He's too valuable out there in the field for us jacker offers. And he would do the prepaid mall credit cards.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom.
And then it's untraceable.
Untraceable, bro.
That's pretty good because I remember being in high school and my buddy's mom coming down the stairs to the basement and she's like, Mr. Choose Asian Beavers? Just reading her credit card statement. And he's like, what? It's like, you signed up for premium?
Yeah, we're not going to half-ass it. You taught me to never half-ass it.
Exactly. I got to go all the way on this. Yeah, on these Asian beavers.
I mean, yeah, dude, I got to see what that's all about.
Yeah, that one stuck with me, and I remember being like, I got to do some research on this site.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I wonder if it still exists, because that was the real site.
There's only one way to find out. Let's get on this ATC network.
Yeah.
Let's get on this work network. Aaron, can you do us a favor and search that from your login, please?
Not an incognito window?
Yeah. Aaron, do you have an EDU you could use to search Asian beaver?
All right, he did come up with it. Well, it was Mr. Choose Asian beaver.
Mr. Choose.
Specific, yeah, which I think is a racist thing.
Gotta
a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's also a beaver choose.
Right.
Right.
It's artistic license. It's a double entendre, I guess. I like a good pun. I'm all about for something that's punny over funny every once in a while.
And I'm about supporting adult creators.
Same here. Exactly right.
The first link on Google is Mr. Choose Asian Beaver 5 from 2011 on IMDb.
Yes.
So, okay. So then it wasn't even a site. It was a series of movies.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
And they made 5 of them, so it was successful. This was a hit.
This was a hit.
Also, a Mr. Choose Asian Beaver pet apparel.
Don't want that. That's a different thing.
So I can get my little Sunny Doggy a little outfit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's dog shirts.
Beaver addict. I can quit whenever I want, the shirt says.
Well, that's kind of
Fun.
dark.
Yeah,
It's a little dark.
Yeah, I'll quit.
I heart beavers.
That's
Nice.
that's like having Budweiser t-shirts that are like, I don't have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in control of it. Don't worry. I'm in control. I could stop having beer whenever I want.
If I don't drink it, a shake.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Like,
My
why would you
hands are-
sell porn apparel that's like, I could stop whenever I want?
I get the feeling that person doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a shaky hand's good for chronic masturbators, though. It's probably like you got that Tom Hanks hand from Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Might be nice.
Yep.
Probably good. All right, baby. This episode is going to be a little different. We're going to try some segments. So get ready, buckle up. You're going to get your history fix and a little bit more knocking at your door. Let's go. So this first segment is a little something called, I like to call this Help Hurt Bone.
Okay, sick.
This works like Kill, Marry, Fuck. Except, Luke, you get to go in a time machine, and you can go back in time, and you can either help, hurt, or bone one of these 3 individuals, okay?
Okay.
So here we go. And then, kind of break it down for me. Let me know why you're making your decision. So help, hurt, bone. You as Luke right now traveling back in time. Sure. Would you help, hurt, or bone Abraham Lincoln, William Shakespeare, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, who is still alive?
Ooh, boy.
Help, hurt, bone.
I mean, it's that we're coming at it from the angle that when you're boning this person, you are neither helping nor hurting them.
It's consensual. In this time travel machine, you have used your musicality, your good looks. You've wooed them.
Okay, sick. Love that. I didn't even mean it like that kind of thing. I just meant like sometimes you're like, if I was hooking up with someone who's just like not ready to take what I got.
Right.
Right. Maybe I'm like 2 tuna can thick,
Oh.
and it's just discomfort.
Oh yeah, you
there
got
rather
that. You got that airplane Coke can dick.
That's right. I got this. This is the exact
Yeah.
a mini DC.
That's a good width though, bro.
No, it's good girth. It's
Yeah.
Girth Brooks. I didn't get that nickname for no reason. I would absolutely. It's hard to not bone Tony Hawk.
I'm leaning towards the same thing here.
It's hard to not bone Tony Hawk because Tony Hawk, great businessman, great skater.
And he's a spinner.
He spins, cultural icon, and good. It seems like all around good guy.
Yeah.
Want a bone.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. It seemed like you've seen some of those beginning of his presidency pictures versus the end. You see it. You saw it with all presidents. The toll that's took. I mean, like this is like take the bullet out of the brain out of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking just like stress of keeping a nation divided and trying to unite. Gotta help Abe.
I agree.
Gotta help Abe.
Are you gonna keep him alive longer so he can go through Reconstruction? Or it's one of those things where, like, I mean, granted, America's not perfect. We still got work to do, but like, he succeeded. He kept the Union together. He's freed the slaves. Like, if he doesn't get shot in the head, does he get too power hungry? He doesn't seem like that type of guy.
Didn't seem like that kind of guy, but he needed some help. You could tell.
Yeah.
The guy. He was a troubled man.
Yes.
A troubled guy, and he wore it on his face. You could see it. Like,
you could have gone
holy
back.
moly.
They said he had a ribald sense of humor.
Oh.
So you could have gone back and been like a buddy of him, telling him jokes. Maybe, you get invited to the theater. You're making fun of the dude. What was it called? Was that Ford Theater? What were they watching? America. What was the name of the play they saw, Aaron?
That was My American Cousin.
Yeah, My American Cousin. You're like, dude,
Like this fucking sucks.
this fucking sucks. Dude.
We should bail
Yeah,
and go
exactly.
smoke.
Yeah, exactly. And then he'd be like, haha, for sure.
For sure. We should. Why, any other reason why you always want to watch other plays? And I'm like, I'm telling you, dog. This one you got to skip this play.
You shouldn't go, bro.
He's like, my wife's in there, and I'm like, let her.
Yeah.
Maybe let Mary Todd chill in there.
Yeah, she needs to take her mind off a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty wild one. Needed some help. And I'd also be like, hey, Andrew Johnson, not a great choice for VP.
No, but jacked. Andrew Johnson was apparently pretty jacked, like a linebacker. He was like a Mike Trout.
Really?
Apparently he was like a Mike Trout. Pretty
so he was
yoked.
kind of a beefy boy and
Yeah.
could like absolutely jack homers.
Absolutely. Yeah, he would have.
He could hit long
absolutely.
dongs?
Yes, dude.
And he was really apologetic and was really botched letting the South be punished at all
Yeah.
for that war. He was
Yeah.
like, nah, y'all are cool already. And it's been 30 minutes. So I think you guys
It's
learned
fine.
your lesson.
But he couldn't. You couldn't have been too harsh on him.
That's true.
You had to get him back in.
It's not so. There's a gray. There's a grayness to it, but it is. History does not look fondly upon the presidency of Andrew Johnson.
No,
it's not,
no.
not a good sitch.
Was the first guy to be impeached.
Yeah.
Later.
Sorry, dog.
So then you would hurt.
That leaves Hurt for Bill Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But famously, probably not his real name.
True.
So, I think with that, I would kind of do like a Wet Willie style bullying of him, where I'm like, "How about, hey nerd, how about you have the pride to freaking not use a pen name and like,
Yeah.
actually no, now
Get
that
rid of
I'm
your
saying it out
gnomes
loud,
a
I'm like, no,
plume.
it's actually pretty cool.
It's kind of sick.
It's actually kind of a pen name is a sick move.
It is kind of sick. It's kind of badass, like a rap name. Like he should have been William Ice Shakespeare, something sicker. Maybe you could have like give him that advice.
Yeah, just add a Lil Shakespeare,
Yeah, Lil William Shakespeare, Lil Bill Shakespeare did.
Lil Bill.
Could have been sick. But I think, yeah, he was like a theater dude, so he would respond in kind to being bullied, I would imagine, a little bit,
Yeah,
Be
I mean,
fine.
he was kind of a big dick player in his time.
True.
And they said there's also like the conspiracy theory that William Shakespeare was a woman.
Really?
It's out
So
there.
you're saying you would go back, bully a lady? Yeah.
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 To use her real
Yeah.
name and be like, hey,
Yeah.
this would actually really help out.
Be more powerful.
Yeah. But also, they probably wouldn't have let.
No, they wouldn't if she wouldn't have been able to write
wouldn't have
because
been cool.
all the actors were men.
Right.
And you would have been like very progressive, like, hey, step up for the ladies, do this. I'm doing this so for the ladies. But really, nothing would have got made.
Here's a hot take for you right now. Do you think that women in Shakespeare's time, because all of the roles were played by men, do you think women were like, what the heck? All these freaking dudes are playing all the lady parts? Is the same way that like ugly, overweight, bald guys felt when they saw the Penguin and they're like, Colin Farrell's doing the Penguin? Like, these are our roles.
Exactly.
Let
dude.
me do this. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I was born for this role.
This is kind of all we got.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I want to play a guy. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's very whack. Or like when Christian Bale gains a ton of weight to play like Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro.
Let
the freaking
bring back Uggos, man.
Yeah, dude.
Bring back. You know what? You ever watch like British panel shows? Like
No.
I love them. I'm a big like. I've gone down the YouTube rabbit hole and now I'm getting like a lot of like where they just like kind of hang and riff and joke around and shit. And I'm like, man, the Brits are brave enough to have a bunch of ugly people on TV still. And I'm like, yes, good. I like it.
We want proper representation.
That's right.
Okay. That's great. I think I'm fully on board with all your picks. Actually, I would do the exact same thing. I would
reasoning?
tell Shakespeare, fucking dude,
Had to do it to somebody.
stop saying thou and thus, dude. I would be like, dude, just write the proper words so I can pass my English class better.
And that's something that he probably needed to hear.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Dost thou fucking want to have my back, dude?
Knock his backpack off. Be like, the Tempest, bro.
The
yeah,
Tempest?
dude.
What even is that?
Yeah, what is the Tempest? Gone.
Get real.
And then, what's with that collar that you wear? That like bushy collar can't be comfortable.
That can't be comfortable.
Yeah.
Is that an ascot?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
Midsummer
I'd ruffle it.
Night's
I'd ruffle it, dude.
Just do a dream in summer.
Yeah, in your comedy. And look, I don't want to harp on Shakespeare too much because I'm about to go in heavy on the paint to this guy. But yeah, I fully on board with Luke, with you on that, Luke.
Now here's another little segment for you that's going to be a bit of a gear shift. We're going to get to the history here soon, but before we do, it reminded me of a little seg I wanted to try called, yeah, this is a very dumb hill, but I'm willing to die on this hill.
Let's go.
This is a very dumb hill, but I'm willing to die on this hill. And a lot of mine are food related.
I love it.
Right away, I started thinking, I am willing to die on the hill of, I don't like that we group kinds of food by breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like we've all heard of like a breakfast for dinner kind of thing. I'm more just mad at breakfast for being like, breakfast, we have like 11 things that we do, and that's what breakfast is.
Yes.
And I think a big part of that comes from brunch culture of like, you're telling me I'm allowed to drink at 11 a.m., right, on a Sunday, but I'm only allowed to do it if I do an orange juice champagne or a Bloody Mary. Like, let me rip a Michelob Ultra.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. I'm keeping the cows low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
a
with
low
you.
carb option. And also, what if I want a Bloody Mary at midnight?
Yeah.
Am I an asshole then? Right now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am. I also think whoever the guy was that was like, donuts are breakfast. And it's like, can we talk about this for a minute? What is a donut? And they're like, it's cake. It's straight up a dessert. It's cake. It's absolutely just all sugar. There's nothing breakfasty about it or like get your day started, whatever. It's like,
bad for you. Probably the worst thing you can have in the morning.
Truly.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of decided and all accepted and been strong-armed into like, this is what we do in the morning. If you get a donut in the afternoon or at night, people are like, did you just wake up? You're like, why is a donut not a dessert?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it should be.
It's a dessert.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. What's a beignet? You've been to you're a New Orleans guy.
Yeah.
Isn't a beignet just a donut in a different shape or
It's
no?
pretty much just like a little French donut where it's just like deep fried dough and then they sprinkle powdered sugar on it and call it a day. It's just like, I don't know when we got things crossed.
Yeah.
But we sure did and it's like, yeah, I don't know what it was. With eggs, like, okay, hear me out. Eggs pretty much are in so many other things. You got to use eggs as a binder and a lot of baking stuff. But it's like, for some reason, if you want to just eat an egg, it's got to be in the morning. Because later, you got to put that in a stir fry for your walk.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And you are looked at like a weirdo. Like if you go to a dinner, unless you're at like a diner, it's a 24-hour thing and it's like after hours, then it's like free play.
Yeah.
But if I go out to dinner, maybe I want eggs.
Also don't
it's
like
good protein.
100% great protein, love an egg, and I also don't like on a menu, it's like, sorry, we only serve this till 3 p.m. or whatever. And I'm like, doggy, I know you got eggs back there.
Yeah.
If I want some eggs and I want to overpay for eggs, Let me do it.
Let me do it. And it's honestly probably the easiest thing in the world to prepare. I'm not asking you to freaking poach this puppy.
No.
Just fry it up, put it in between some bread, and let me freaking put it up my butt because that's how good it is.
Let me jam it.
Yeah,
And
I
here's
want
the
to
thing.
jam this.
I know that if you're a chef back there doing dinner, you know how to cook an egg. Don't act like you don't. And it's not like you have to prep it.
I love that. So you're going to
That's
bat.
a dumb hill to die on.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a dumb hill to die on. But I'm
Culture is
like,
completely set up the other way. So you'd be. Everyone's saying go right. You're going left on that.
if
You
don't,
want diner menus everywhere you go.
I want beyond that. I want acceptance for breakfast foods any time of the day, and I want acceptance for like if I want to have like a freaking day after Thanksgiving sandwich for breakfast. I don't want people looking at me side eye.
I get that. If you want spaghetti and meatballs at 9 a.m,
Especially if you're going to run a marathon the day, you need carbs.
yeah, you got a carb load.
You got a carb
Load up.
Do you have any?
Load up.
Can you think of any hills? If you can't think of one, I have another food related hill I'm willing to die on.
Let me hear it while I think.
All right, all right. I do stand up all over the place. I travel a lot. I'm all around the country. You're eating on the road. You're seeing things like in America. There's a lot of like food crazes, things that catch on that maybe they're popular in New York and LA, and then eventually they kind of filter to the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I would argue like foods that have their moment in the sun, their 15 minutes of fame. There was definitely an avocado era.
Yes.
There was a froyo era.
Oh, big time.
Big time, like froyo. That ain't around much anymore.
No.
Right?
Yeah. Golden Spoon was where it was at. Yogurtland, get out. Get out.
I'm kind of over, like, I can see the ones that have been big in the last, like, 5 years, like smash burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Love smash burgers, but I grow weary.
I'd rather have a good burger.
I'd rather have
a good, just juicy, thick burger.
I don't need every burger in LA to be a smash burger.
Correct.
That being said, I enjoy it. I like them.
I don't mind them either.
But the thing that as I'm on the road a lot recently, I'm starting to see all around, even the Midwest and the South, the kimchi craze.
Big time, yeah. A lot of bros doing kimchi nowadays.
And here's the thing. I enjoy kimchi, but we've now reached that, like, kimchi's in Ohio phase where it's like they're doing kimchi quesadillas and kimchi, like we're getting creative with it. And I'm like, I think we need to I'm ready to turn the page on kimchi.
Yeah, and if you ever open a jar of kimchi in your house,
ruined your
smell
house.
great. Yeah,
you actually can't resell the house.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You have to like disclose that to your whoever the future buyer is. It's like someone died in here, and we would have kimchi a lot.
And they opened up one jar of kimchi one time.
And then they died.
And they passed. They sadly passed. I'd argue Nashville hot chicken is like, I'm kind of tired of it.
I'm out on hot chicken.
I've had enough.
Yeah, I'm out. I go to Nashville a lot. I don't do hot chicken anymore.
They have to be tired of it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
It's good, but it's one of those things where I'm like, we live in Los Angeles, and there's like 17 Nashville hot chicken places in a like 1 mile radius of where we live, which I'm like, I think the market is cornered.
Yes. Dude.
If I need it, I can find it. We don't need more.
Yes.
So yeah, and I don't know what's next. But I'll make a prediction of what I think is coming down the pike.
Yeah.
And that's buckwheat.
Oh, you think that's coming really?
Buckwheat has arrived.
Really?
And it's going to be annoying because buckwheat's not good. Buckwheat pancakes, buckwheat this, buckwheat that. I'm already out.
It's like kale. Kale was bad. Kale sucked.
Yeah, kale sucks.
Kale sucks.
You got to chop up
and it hurts
kale.
your stomach.
Yeah, it does. It's not.
It's so hard to digest.
But it's a superfood.
I know. Have a
What
little
is
bit,
that?
blend it
What does
up.
that mean?
More nutrients. Here's what I'm out on. Okay, I'm out on, and I'll die on this hill, and I actually might not be alone on this.
Preach.
Dudes who, when I say that I'm interested in something, explain it to me more. Like if I'm like, hey man, raw milk's pretty good, and then people are like, oh yeah, no, you're getting the wrong one. I just hate.
They have to one up you.
Yeah, I hate that. It's probably not an original take, but I'm like, dude.
No, one-upsmanship is a...
Yes, and it made me think of it with the food, because I'll talk to like some of my bros or any coworkers, and they're like, I'll be like, oh dude, I discovered this is pretty nice. They go, no, all wrong. Got to do this. This is how I do it.
Can't stand that.
Yes.
Can't stand
Dude,
that.
I was watching an Instagram post of a guy on a cutting board showing off how he eats. He was like, this is how you salt your food. Like used an egg and like had like small things. And it was just literally him eating, dude. And he's like pretty fit.
That's
It made me so mad.
It's pretty unhinged behavior.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty
I was like,
psychotic
dude,
behavior to do.
This showed up on my algorithm, and then I watched it.
And I feel like those kinds of guys too, it's like you'll say something that in 100 other situations is like, oh, here's a thing we have in common that we both do. Like, oh man, I love going up and hiking this set of trails. And like, well, have you done the other one? Because those ones are better. You have a better vista.
Dude, exactly.
You have a better scenic vista. I'm like, can't we just have a thing in common where we both enjoy it and we go, what a great time?
Yes.
We have to have a negative spin on it. You got to one up me. You got to do it better than me.
And so maybe my spin is, I should be allowed to say, hey man, shut the fuck up. That should be culturally acceptable.
You're like, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But
like,
you have to agree with me harder than I agree with you.
You have to. It has to be a hostage situation of agreement now.
Really?
Like if you go say, hey man, I went to Thailand. It was pretty sweet. Oh, we went to Bangkok, then Phuket. Oh, you didn't do the Did you do the northern region of Thailand? Well, yeah. Oh, you didn't. You didn't go to Chiang Mai for the elephants. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, so that's the one thing that I didn't do. That's the best part then.
Yeah, that's what was worth doing.
Yeah. So everything else was shit. Hey man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you got.
I should be allowed to say that in a work setting. To a woman.
You get one for
to a child. I should say to a child.
You could say anything one time.
Yeah,
you get one. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yes, I kind of feel like I was kind of like that with you. I was trying to bite my tongue when you were talking about your visit to New Orleans, and you were saying, "Oh, I went and got this awesome sandwich," and I'm like, "I fucking love that place."
Oh yeah, Luke,
I ride so hard for that place.
Luke, shut the fuck up.
A little bit, but a little bit. I recognize I'm a good place.
But you know what? But no, you did it great because you're like, dude, did you get the fucking collard green sandwich?
Got it.
And I go, I did. It was amazing, and we agreed on that.
So good. I think the best.
And
thing.
then after that, you didn't go. But dude, really, what you should do is
you got the best thing.
No, you didn't do that.
Here's the thing: I would have absolutely done it if you didn't get that.
You would have punished me. All right.
One more quick one.
Yeah, please.
One really fast.
Let me tee this up, please.
Another one. I know that millennials get dogged for their cringeness for liking Harry Potter, but I'm like,
oh man,
I'm a die on the hill of we do need to be done talking about it at all. There's no more Harry Potter coming out. We're done with it. And it made me realize I think there are some people in our general age range where that is the only book series they ever read.
I think you're right.
And so that's like they're stuck in that mode of like, I read Harry Potter and then literally never read anything else. And that's why I'm annoying about it.
Yes.
And I'm like, you got to know. Like, I've been trying to read a little more. I'm like, there are, believe it or not, actually some other book series that are pretty rad.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Mistborn, which you're about to dive into, Brandon Sanderson. Thank you, Will Angus, for the rec. I read book 1, loved it. Not going to say anything about it because you're about to dive in.
I just got the box set. I think I got an alert that it was delivered to me.
Oh, dude.
Was while I sat here.
Fucking boner alert, dude, because you're going to be stoked on that?
I got full wood, and I've heard it's a wonderful adventure, and I'm ready to take the plunge.
You're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy yourself. But you're not going to enjoy yourself when you go see William Shakespeare. Now, I went to go see Shakespeare in the park with my wife and her 2 friends. Let's just say it was an okay time. And that's a big upsell. It's me pulling out all the salesman stops right there. We saw Julius Caesar. I know the entire story. I know the history. I know Brutus stabbed him. I don't know what the fuck was going on in that play. No idea.
I do think it's a little wild too. We're talking about William Shakespeare stuff, and they chunk William Shakespeare's plays into like Shakespeare's tragedies, and Shakespeare's comedies.
Correct.
When I'm like tragedies, that shakes out. Comedies, I'm like, is this a comedy? And I realize the only qualifier for tragedy in comedy versus in Shakespeare terms is like, does everyone die at the end? Or do they not die at the end? It's like not whether it's funny or not. It's just, is the body count at the end greater than 1?
Correct.
You know?
And betrayals. And the comedy comes in here, and it's sort of like my least favorite type of, it's the type of comedy that parents like. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh man, so we're going to be talking about The Merchant of Venice.
Okay.
Briefly, you're going to get a quick hit of The Merchant of Venice here.
Love it.
And that is a comedy. Now, the reason it's a comedy This is going back to like Elizabethan England. It was written in like 1594 to 97. Wasn't actually performed until the early 1600s. But of course, it takes place in Venice, and it's about this heiress, Portia, Portia is her name, Portia. Her father dies, has sort of an interesting will with interesting circumstances where a suitor must pick the right chest, a gold, silver, or lead chest, and then he can have the wife of the daughter, who is described as fair. So Portia she's a smoke show.
Absolutely.
She's a smoke show. And then in Venice at this time, there are strict social customs that must be adhered to.
Mm-hmm.
So the comedy comes in with characters navigating their wants around these strict social customs. So I imagine every laughter is like, ha ha ha, yes.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with the Venetian custom of farting in a jar.
Yeah, exactly. And the main funny character in this play, by the way, anti-Semitism, huge in 1590.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, huge in 1590
Pretty
London.
funny.
So the main character, the main character is like Portia, but there is his name is, he's a Jewish character. He's the moneylender Shylock.
Yep.
Shylock. And they say basically this play all the way up until World War II. So from 1597, call it 1600, to 1950, post-World War II. So like 500 years, basically, for whatever years. It was always like, we're going to laugh at the Jewish character. Then some actors started to play the Jewish character with like sympathy and heart, and really changed the essence of the play. Mind you, not funny.
Nope.
More powerful of a message, but this is Shakespeare's comedy. People love to laugh at how because of the strict customs and of the lending. There's this guy Antonio. He needs to borrow money from his friend. His friend lends him money. They go to Shylock to get he can't repay his buddy quick enough. So Shylock, the Jewish merchant, lends him money, and instead of asking for interest or money back, demands a pound of flesh because Antonio had wronged him earlier, which was always like, oh man, greedy. But in hindsight, I was reading in on it and was like, well, the Jewish character isn't just greedy for money. He demands the pound of flesh, which really doesn't mean anything. It's like, what am I going to take? Like your dick or whatever. He's just more like,
your dick is not a pound.
No,
unless it's like absolutely jammed with blood and you're in a stiffy.
Yes, yeah. I'd need to work up. I'd need to be undersea a few levels. I need atmospheres of pressure to add weight to me.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I
need to be in in a scuba, rock hard with a benign tumor at the head.
Exactly.
Just to add a little weight on that tip.
And then take it off. And then take it right off my body. Take it right off my body. The only way. But the point is being that this character, Shylock, is more invested in human interaction because he was wronged. He had a little bit of a grudge. And it wasn't all about the money. And in the end, these characters, also it just goes to show, like you were saying earlier, how women had no rights and couldn't be in plays.
Right.
Portia had to disguise herself as a man. Very funny.
That it was a man playing a woman disguising
as a lawyer, so she could go into the court of law.
That's a little hat on a hat scenario.
Yep. But very funny. Wild. This is classic. This is a classic work.
And I believe they probably use the word Shylock as like a slur.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. All bad. Guaranteed all bad. And there's 5 acts. I'm not going to get into what happens in each act. You know what I mean? I'm just going to give you the basic rundown. The takeaway of this is, look, it's a comedy. It's not a comedy of errors. It's a comedy. It's quote unquote character driven situational comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Wants and desires, and the funny comes with the twist at the end, where Portia's described as a lawyer in order to pay the legal fees. The main guy Antonio, all the suitors Portia doesn't like, but she does like the main guy. I think Gritanio. I mean, all these names are unreal. It's unreal. But they end up paying the legal fees with the rings that they intended to give to the ladies. Portia's best friend Nerissa has like a B story love interest. Both the guys have to pay them with the rings. Funny, because those were the rings they were intending to give to the women. They do give the women the rings, but thinking that they're lawyers. Then they get home, back to Portia's
I gotta
estate.
fuck my lawyer?
Yeah, exactly. It's classic quid pro quo. They get back. Oh my gosh, guess what? We have the rings. It's okay. And all the couples can be together and hang out and be friends without having to be apart. So really, it's kind of this tale more about like friendship over everything with Portia and Nerissa and Antonio and Gratano or whatever.
I feel like he uses Antonio in a lot of his plays. I feel like that's a double dip one. Like I feel like there's multiple Shakespeare plays where he's just like, I'm out of names. What do we got?
Totally.
Antonio.
And a lot of this shit, you know.
No historical basis though, right? Or is this just kind of him? This is just off
this
the dome.
isn't one where it's like a Henry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like or a king abdicating, which is usually one of his tragedies.
He loves that.
Yeah, he loves abdication or
it
changing
doesn't
of
go
power.
well ever. It feels like
Nope. People die.
it's
People
always
get killed.
betrayal.
Yes, no one gets killed here. The pound of flesh. They find up finding a legal way out because it's flesh, not blood, and you have to like draw blood to create flesh. So it's always like
If you did have to chop off a pound somewhere, what are you doing?
That's a great question. Left side of my body, probably like like if you could take like a flank,
Like a good strip of bacon off that?
and maybe regrow it.
That feels like
That might be a pound. Like take a pound off of here,
but
or maybe a little bit of my ass. Probably take a little bit of my
Yeah.
ass meat. Would hurt my squats.
and it would hurt
It hurt my
the
squats.
reason
but take
why
a little
your
bit of my
wife
ass meat.
married you.
Honestly, it probably is, Luke. It ain't because my
Them
weenie.
buns, dude. She loves them buns, and she's like,
Mhm.
wait a sec, hold up. You chopped off my favorite cheek. I feel like you can get a pound of butt meat.
You could get a pound of butt meat.
I think you could get it. I think that's not a bad. I don't know why immediately I was like, my hand.
That's what I thought. In the beginning, I was like,
no.
my
that's-
left hand or foot. I'm like, that'd be the stupidest choice
No.
ever. Yeah, take like a pound of meat from my ass.
Yeah. Not good either way.
No.
Not trying
Or-
to chop.
Maybe I could go in and if it's a skilled surgeon, take a little bit of like an intestine or something like that, clean me up.
Oh,
Maybe
like
it would benefit me.
get a little lipo sitch.
Yeah, get a little. Yeah,
Yeah, take a
maybe
little bit of my belly.
help me out.
A little bit of my tire
Let's
off.
Let's get the 6-pack back.
Yeah.
All right, that's your history dose. Don't worry, I've got some more historical games coming up. But
Before we go fully off Shakespeare too, did you ever? Do you have any Shakespeare plays you like?
no, I'm not a
Okay.
Shakespeare guy. That's why I kind of got this book, and that's why I wanted to research it so I could like know about Shakespeare in quick doses.
I remember my high school did a Shakespeare play. I did the plays and the musicals and stuff, and I was
Mhm.
like, and I remember thinking, oh, we're doing Much Ado About Nothing, and in my head I'm like, I don't want to do that shit. It's a lot of memorizing stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play for like a bit part where I'm in like 2-3 scenes, so I get to hang out, but I'm not like super in it. And of course, I end up doing the audition, and I go hard, and the guy lets me be in. He makes me be one of the lead guys, and I remember just being like, "Fuck, I gotta memorize so much shit. I don't even know what I'm doing." And because I was so stressed out about memorizing the Shakespeare, I put so much time into it, like
Yeah.
right away. I had it memorized in like 5 days or something, which like would take me a long time normally.
Yeah.
But I was so scared of the Shakespeare stuff that I memorized it. And famously, Shakespeare has like no stage directions. It's always just like he leaves, or like so.
Yeah.
A lot of it's like up to your interpretation of what's going on, as far as like in the background and the actions and shit. It's all dialogue.
Mm-hmm. It'd be fun to direct then, I guess.
And the director of my high school chose for our Much Ado About Nothing, and this is no irony. He wasn't being funny. It was Jimmy Buffett themed. And it wasn't. He was not joking at all.
I would see that. That sounds amazing.
We were all in like Tommy
Hawaiian?
Bahama shirts. Every in between of every scene was one of Jimmy Buffett's biggest hits. So the Parrot Heads loved it.
Dude, if I went to see that Shakespeare in the Park, I'd love that. I'd drink in the park,
Yeah.
have a freaking Mai Tai
Yeah,
or a
dude, it was
margarita.
lot. That would be good. But I do remember him saying like he was an English teacher too, and he was like, before we even do the play though, you do need to like know what you're saying.
That's what I mean. That's where the script analysis and text analysis is huge, because that does help you memorize.
It also makes it so that you can't act it if you don't even know that you're like, oh, I'm telling this guy that I'm like gonna beat his ass,
Yes.
and I didn't even know that, so I'm just saying it like scared. And
You know, I will say my dank-ass wife used to work at this theater. Maybe it was like a Broad theater over on the west side. I don't remember. And a Shakespeare company professionals came from London, and they did A Midsummer's Night Dream. And I gotta tell you, there was one dude in there that was like an amazing actor. I was like, I had no idea what he was saying.
No.
And I had pretty good seats because my dank wife worked there and hooked it up, and it was just me.
Great gal, big fan.
So love it. And also a fan of your dank ass wife. And dude, it was awesome. I was like, this is pretty cool, pretty amazing. Like the stage picture that they did was like very cool, and it was awesome.
There's definitely plays that are like easier to follow than others.
Yeah.
Like some like Macbeth shit is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I get it. I get what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
There is, yeah.
There's not a lot of dream sequences. There are some.
That's true, yeah. Some dream sequences will throw you off. Some ghosts, I'm like, wait, that guy's not real. Like, they'll call it ghost apparitions, and I'm like, I have to know what that means. Yeah.
He would also famously make up words. He would make, like, he's like responsible for making up like thousands of words, which I'm like, respect that you just really confidently wrote like, Bluquacious.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we don't know that. We are using context clues to know that means like so horny that you almost nut. You know what I mean?
And like the groundlings, famously, the people that would stand on the ground, they can't read.
No.
So they don't know.
This was like their blockbuster action movies, which makes it that much crazier that like Shylock being like a slur for Jewish people. Like, yeah, this guy's really whatever. Where it's like, could you imagine that happening with like Vader?
I know.
Or something where it's like, we only have 8 movies. Like, these 8 plays are the ones that we see all the time.
Yes.
So it's like, we only have this reference level. Yeah, it's like, these are what our slurs are based on. Yeah.
Exactly, dude.
Dude's a Jabba.
Guys are going around quoting it, dude.
Freaking Jabba the Hutt. That's the only fat guy that you can possibly imagine is Jabba. I got one that has nothing to do with history.
Love it.
Another little segment here. And this is going to be a gear shift. But
I love it.
I want to grip and rip a quick 3 rounds of a fantasy draft and I came up with some like some little topics like for a quick fantasy draft.
Let's party.
For the first 3 rounds.
Let's party.
And this is the fantasy draft of TV dads that you'd want to get a lesson from.
Oh, I love this.
What? Yeah.
Very strong.
So we'll go first round picks, and then like if I pick one of the ones that you would have liked, sorry dog, that's how it goes.
It's gone.
Sometimes you got to take a tight end before you want to take a tight end.
You got to go early.
You got to play the board.
It's a value position.
That's right.
Yeah, don't take Trey McBride. I mean, the guy he was allergic to the end zone this year. Okay, so TV dads. All right.
That you want to learn a lesson from.
I'm gonna take. Can I take one?
I think because I picked the bucket, you get first overall pick.
Yeah, because your subconscious has been allowed to think about it longer.
Yes.
I'm going to go with, and I think this counts, even though his name is Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil is absolutely a blue chip prospect.
I'm going to go with Uncle Phil. I want him to teach me a lesson. Dude, when Uncle Phil got stern.
Yep. Scary.
You were scared because you're such a powerful man. He's a judge.
Yep.
So he has society's best interest at hand, his family's best interest at hand. He's strong. Yep. I feel like he's strong, and
crypto
also,
bro,
big crypto bro.
If Uncle Phil, if Fresh Prince was nowadays, because they're living in a mansion,
bro,
you know that Uncle Phil would be have some tech money.
Luke, if we were walking around the street, you could probably think that me and you are 2 guys making crypto. If you just saw us out and about, you'd go, what if we made a crypto called Uncle Phil?
You know what?
It'd probably do well.
It's also like kind of like Rule 34 or whatever it is, where it's like if you can imagine the porn, it exists.
Yeah,
if you can imagine the meme coin, it probably is
Someone's
out there.
made it.
Yeah,
someone's made it.
They accept it in Taiwan.
Yep, you're right.
Legal tender, you can spend Uncle Phil coin.
All right, that's who I'm taking.
That's a great first overall pick. Now, my first overall pick is gonna go in a different way, and it's gonna say more about me than it is anything else. I want Red Foreman, that 70s show.
Oh, I love Red. Yeah,
I would love to like get yelled at by.
You like that a little bit.
I kind of like getting. I want my TV dad to rough me up a bit.
I like that
because there's moments where you think Red Foreman's gonna have a little softer side, and any moment where there is a tenderness immediately is overcompensated with I'm gonna put my foot in your ass, and I like that. I like repression. Midwestern repression is a sauce.
Yeah,
I like
don't
to swim
talk
in.
about that enough. Usually the Northeast gets that. You know, it comes out in gambling and boozing, but there's a lot of repression going on in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's a lot of religious like shame, probably.
It's not the Bible Belt, but it's like the pubes coming out of the Bible Belt. Yep, that's what the Midwest.
And there's a friendliness to it.
Yeah.
They're very friendly, but it's almost like I know a lot of people in the Midwest that are the kind of people that'll have like a knockdown, drag out fight and then bury it, not talk about it the next day. When it's like sometimes you need to clear the air and be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like Midwestern is like, nah, dog, stuff it down. Never talk about it.
Yes. That's beautiful.
And then have it bubble up by with violence.
I think you just have, violence.
But Red Foreman.
Violence solves everything at first and then makes it worse a little bit later.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to throw a little curveball.
Okay. Round 2.
This is more of a lesson that I'm going to learn. Maybe I'm slightly older and I would learn. Connie, I just want to hang out with this dad a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go with Ed O'Neill from
Modern Family?
No, I'm going Married with Children. I'm going. Why am I blanking on his character, dude?
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
I'm going Al Bundy.
Al Bundy's a great dad.
Just because yes.
And Al Bundy is a great dad because he bangs.
He does.
Al Bundy bangs.
Big time.
Peg.
Yes, he bangs Peg. We love Peg. And
Reluctantly, though.
Reluctantly.
He's always against it.
Yeah, he is always kind of against banging his hot wife.
Yeah, his hot wife.
You know, he's tired. I love his energy. I love that he puts his hand down his pants when he comes home. He sells women's shoes. I used to do that. And so I feel like he'd have a nice, cynical, good remark where I could be like, there's wisdom to be taken from that.
Yeah, he would dog on you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely it's mostly coming from a negative place, which I like.
Exactly.
I like.
Your red kind of gave me that idea.
Red Foreman is definitely coming from a negative place.
Yeah.
But you'll learn.
That's what I mean. I'll learn. It's on me to learn that lesson.
Now, this is I feel like my second round pick maybe is someone who I'm slanted to picking because it reminded me so much of my own dad and IRL, this TV dad did. And that is Hal from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, yeah. Malcolm in the Middle, great show, dude.
Great show.
Yeah.
But another like kind of Midwestern family where like mom is the one who reigns with an iron fist.
The mom was she was. Yeah.
And we kind of have a moment where like if I'm in trouble and my dad is yelling at me, he's like, look, she can hear me. She knows that I got to lay down the law. So you guys need to fucking get it together. She's going to be mad at me too. Like I always like that Hal was like that.
We're
like,
in the same boat.
Yeah. Like we'll all get yelled at if you don't do this. And I'm like, he's right. All right. And and then I'm wrinkling that into a Walter White just because it's played by the same guy.
I was gonna say it's Bryan Cranston, and Breaking Bad would be like him.
Way different.
Yeah, you'd learn some interesting lessons from that character.
You don't want to learn a lesson from him.
Don't.
He's the one who knocks.
Yeah. So, man, I haven't seen this show famously, and I want to say it, but I can't say it because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think you could say it. You know the gist of the TV Dad. This is the fantasy draft this is your third round pick of fantasy drafts of TV dads, and there's going to be a bargain bin where I'm just going to throw out a few honorable mentions after this.
Yep.
Of ones that I'm like, I don't know if I'd pick them, but they're out there. You know.
Oh man.
That you want to learn a lesson from.
I might have to go with. No, I don't want to do that. I know there's a dad who's pretty like, oh shucksy, but I don't want that dad.
If you don't want to learn a lesson from that dad's dad style is not going to be
kind
of break through to you.
He's not for me.
Because you already have a pretty good mixture. If we're doing this in like fantasy style, like you already have your RB1 with Uncle Phil. That's a bell cow back.
Yep.
And then I think you have a kind of a PPR legend in Al Bundy.
Yep. He's gonna get
a lot.
Showered with targets.
Yes.
Maybe won't find the end zone, but he's gonna get 10 targets a game.
That's right.
He'll get you 10 targets, 80 yards, maybe a score.
That's right.
Who he did also play tight end. I think he did play tight end.
He played for the
Bundy.
Steelers.
Yeah.
So he can suck a fat one.
It's fucking rad, dude.
Can absolutely.
That's so rad.
Frig off. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like, oh man, there's like a guy that I want to learn a lesson from, but he's not a dad.
I think you had I'll allow, because you're having a machine gun come up with three of them real fast. if you have one that maybe isn't necessarily dad but has dad energy and you'd want to learn a lesson from, I think that counts.
I'm gonna say Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney is absolutely a viable.
I want to learn from Mr. Feeney. Dude.
Yeah, because you don't want to learn a lesson from like Sean's actual parents.
Yeah, Sean's Sean's bummer energy, dude. That guy had he was such a bummer, Sean, man. He was always going through it, bro.
Yeah, well, he had a bad home life.
He did have a really
His dad
bad.
was like a dirtbag.
Yeah, he had a really bad home life. Too.
I like that. I like a TV show that's like, hey, we're watching this to escape our bad family life, and you gave us like a dirtbag dad, even in a made up scenario.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't need that.
We don't need it.
I want some fun. I want a Mr. Feeney, the dad, Mr. Matthews, the actual Mr. Matthews, not Corey Matthews.
Sure.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mr. Feeney's just a beast, dude. Has everyone's best interest. He's the principal we all wish we had.
Yeah, Mr. Feeney's definitely a tough love guy.
Yep.
But he can uncork that love on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good third round pick, Mr.
Teacher.
Feeney. Because like Mr. Feeney's more of a flex.
Yeah, he's a flex. Exactly.
He's a flex
not
player.
Really a dad. I don't know if he had his own kids. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did. Maybe he wasn't. Yeah, but yeah, he wasn't a dad character. So I could see where I could take an L because of that. But it, it was a little bit of a bend there.
And I think that my third round pick of a dad I'd like to learn a lesson from is one that it just sticks in my craw as like, man, that is like a quintessential TV dad, and that's Wonder Years dad.
Yes, Wonder Years, great show. It was my siblings always watched it, so I never quite got it.
I watched a lot of the reruns on Fox Family back in the day. They really were airing. They really put on the Wonder Years a lot. Great theme song, S tier.
Oh, the theme song for one. What would you do
if I sang out of tune? It's the Joe Cocker version.
So good.
Come on.
Love Joe Cocker. Yeah, dude. That song alone.
Better than the Beatles version.
Yeah, way better. Way 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with All Along the Watchtower, where Bob Dylan wrote it, but when he heard Jimi Hendrix play it, Bob Dylan was like, "That's your song.
This for you now, dog.
That's yours."
Yeah, you grip it and rip it on that, dog.
You got that.
You playing that lefty on a right-handed guitar? That's all
That's
you,
huge.
dog.
Aaron, do you want to just hop in with a quick judge here and just let us know who took the dub on that?
Oh, you want me
Dad
to judge?
list?
Or even this, if you have one that stuck out in your crawl that we definitely missed, like some honorable mention TV dads.
Yeah, Dan Connor.
Dan Connor's
Roseanne.
a great TV
What's
dad.
he from?
Roseanne.
Oh,
John
Roseanne.
Goodman.
Yes, John Goodman.
John
legend.
Goodman is a great TV dad.
Also, what's the one with the twins, the Olsen twins, the dad there?
Danny Tanner.
Danny Tanner. Great.
Danny Tanner, but I
That's
feel
what I
like
was going to think. But I'm like,
I take some points off Danny Tanner as a TV dad because it was a full house, and he had Uncle Jesse and Uncle Joey to kind of...
He had help.
Yep,
you're right.
And it takes a village, but like you got like two weird guys that can't... If you just describe the idea of that show, you're like, that's psychotic.
Yeah,
it's a grown man whose wife died with 3 young daughters, and in order to help out and make ends meet, he has like a heartthrob band guy live with them, as well as like a very weird child's comedian.
That's the one right there. The child's comedian.
In the
Get him
basement.
out. Yeah, in the basement.
Can't have
He's
Uncle
out.
Joey.
Uncle Joey's out. Get him out.
Don't want it.
And the drummer for the Rippers.
Yeah. Jesse Katsopoulos and the Rippers.
Uncle Jesse, though, and of course, Lori Loughlin. Schwing.
Oh, Lori Loughlin.
Yeah.
And good at getting her daughter into college, too.
Yeah, she's like, the lead. She's not
she
even
served
like
some hard times.
She's a crew. These girls that do crew are like 6'1" and jacked.
Oh, yeah.
And although they do have like the boatswain or whatever the hell that yells at them, but they weren't even clever enough to be like, that's her role. Like the yeller tempo person. They were like, no, she rose.
You're not a coxswain.
Crew. Yeah, you're not. The coxswain. That's it. And and I think like in real life that Lori Loughlin's daughter's like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, they're like, you're not even good at rowing.
You ain't doing crew.
Yeah.
I tell you what, too. There's a million good TV dads.
I was gonna say James Gandolfini from Sopranos.
I had a
Tony
feeling
Soprano.
you were gonna go Tony Soprano,
but I never seen it. I haven't watched The Sopranos famously.
You know, I was gonna throw out a Homer Simpson.
I love.
But then
Homer.
I'm like, I think we're going like live action dad.
It's almost like who I want to hang out with more though. I want to hang out with Homer.
And also, Homer chokes his kid.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
So I don't
does
wanna learn a
choke
lesson.
Bart. You're right. Yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, that was the thing about the Wonder Years dad that I was like, yes, I love that actor, but like, and I've met him. He's a very sweet guy in person, but he's
He's a mean.
Terrified of him the entire show.
He is, but he's one of those dads too that's like, he's complex. He's a real dad. That guy's like, he plays it real, which I like that dad. It's a good dad because it's a complicated relationship.
Dynamic.
Dad. Now, how are we doing on time?
I think we do one more segment.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do yours?
Two more honorable mentions.
Okay.
I'm a little older than you guys. Andy Griffith,
Okay.
small town sheriff,
Oh yeah, yep.
big on life lessons.
Andy
Sweet
Griffith
man,
is classic.
Carries a gun. Carries a gun. I like it.
I like a sweet man with a gun.
And then Rob Petrie from Dick Van Dyke, the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh.
Was it
Comedy writer. Your dad's a comedy writer?
That's
it's gonna
cool.
be fun.
That's cool.
That is got to be kind of a fun one. That's a good. Those are some good throwbacks.
So we have two. We have two segments to choose from. So my segment's called "What Gets You Horny Lately," but you know what gets me horny is to hear what Luke's got coming up. So I think we do.
Oh boy.
Does that sound good to you? Do you want to do, or would you rather do?
I could do that. Mine is I think a little more loosey goosey too. Where it's like, why not cruise on some of these? Because they're all we're testing, folks. We're testing out some stuff. Are any of these fun and worth doing more?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And there's gonna be some stinkers, and there's gonna be some ones where you go, nonstop zingers. We want more of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Let's go. I had to buckle up. I had to go into my car, buckle up, play it when the car's stationary. That's how excited I was. I was moving around too much.
Now this is one I could imagine. If it could be fun if we had like some user submissions here.
Oh, I like that.
But
this is good for the future. We could do this when you come back.
That's exactly right. I was thinking, it's like, look, a lot of people on some pods, they'll give some advice. I don't know that either one of us necessarily are exactly the people that you like. No. Got to take advice from this guy.
I'm an idiot.
I'm an idiot too.
I'm an idiot.
But one thing, I'm not giving you advice per se, but I wanna break down your dreams. Capiche? Because you got a lot of stuff rolling around in your noggin, and sometimes you wake up and like, I don't know about you, if I have like a very vivid dream and I want to tell my wife like, oh my God,
oh yeah,
I just had this wild dream. My wife, like, one of her like 10 commandments is like, I don't give a fuck about your dreams. She doesn't care at all. She's like, literally something that didn't happen that doesn't matter and that you'll forget, in 1 second.
Yes.
But I'm like, that's why I'm telling you, because I'm gonna forget it if I don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like I have these dreams backed up and I got nowhere to spill it. And I'm like, but what does this mean? The real answer is nothing. But I'd like to put our caps on and try to break down. They say what happens to you in your life affects your dreams.
I love that. Yes, dude. I love that. I think there's power in dreams. I think this is a segment we could call, but what does that mean?
But what does it mean?
It could be a thought you had. It could be a dream. So, okay, what did you dream?
I had a dream. And I'll tell you what, the older I get, and that maybe this says a lot about me and the state of the world. Yeah. I'm rocking exclusively nightmares these days.
Oh, yeah, same, bro.
The only dreams I remember, there are dreams I'm sure where they're like, oh, whatever. But the ones that I wake up and I'm like, whoa, I remember that one a lot, are very like, what's up? This is my heart's racing kind of dreams. Now, I had a dream. And this dream was me in, I believe, a jungle.
Okay.
Capiche? I am crawling through a fucking sewage tube. I'm crawling through a sewage pipe.
Andy Dufresne style.
Andy Dufresne, Shawshank style. And it is a tight squeeze, and it is a nightmare. I'm exhausted. There's no going back. It is up, like my nostrils are right here above the pee and poop. Like, stuff's not good. And then I see the light at the end of the tunnel of this sewage pipe that I'm army crawling through. And I'm like, yes, I made it. I'm so exhausted, but I'm going to plop out of the end of the tunnel. And then I get to where I can see what's outside of the end of the tunnel. And it is the Predator from the movie The Predator with shoulder cannon laser fully aiming at the mouth of the pipe.
Looking at exactly.
So, like, it's this situation of, like, crawling through sewage, knowing that there's no going back, that I just have to crawl into getting shot by the Predator in the face.
Oh, this is great. So,
but what does it mean?
I know exactly what this means. This is life. You know, we're stand-up comedians. You have to crawl through shit, do all the tough shows, everything that you do, and then you make it. You sell out that theater. You do the tour, whatever it is, and you realize that's just one hurdle I have. I'm just at
something
another
even
level
worse
of
is waiting for me.
It's another level of shit and work. It's all work. It's all a grind.
Yeah, there is something about like I'm doing something to escape. Like I'm getting out of out of the frying pan and into the fire. A little bit of that, which that does. I think my brain subconsciously is kind of swimming in that sauce a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm trying my darndest to be a little Delulu for 2025 because I feel like we need some positivity up in this business.
I agree, bro. My wife and I have been talking. We're like, this is the 2025 is going to be a time of renewal and upgrading. So not even being like out with the old and with the new, but just like, hey, maintain your course, but get inventive, try new angles, you know, and new stuff with it. So,
and I think a little bit, and I mean this like to the way that you're talking about some porn, no prob.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, here and there.
It's everything in moderation. I think if we're doing a little bit of everything in moderation, the thing that I don't do very much is like be delusional in a positive way about myself. Do a little lie to myself that things are gonna be good.
You have to.
And kind of go la 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 with some of the negativity out there.
I agree. Because why am I only gonna listen? Because a lot of the negativity is la 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 la.
Half the negativity is freaking la la la.
Not more. So I'm not gonna over listen to that. And I agree. It's so funny. I was talking about this on the pod the other day. The only dreams I remember now are nightmares. And I'm like, dude, my life.
When you hit 30.
My Chase bank account's a nightmare. I see that every day.
Yeah,
I see that. Why do I
then
then have to imagine? I imagined that there was killer dolphins trying to get me. There's already sharks. That's scarier than killer dolphin. Like, why am my brain's wasting time?
Is that hit me with a nightmare that you've had?
I really had that. I had a nightmare
killer dolphin.
Or swimming.
If I may give you a little piece for your dream,
sure,
Luke. If you're unarmed, that predator's not going to shoot you.
That's true. That's true.
But Aaron, he's always armed with quips. He's got a razor sharp tongue.
That's true.
I kind of do feel though, like in this scenario, I have just gotten out of like I'm a John McClane in the rafters. Like I'm a threat. Like this predator is standing and waiting to kill me. But you're right that in the original Predator, he does spare that lady because she's not trying to fight.
Or if you're covered in shit, he can't see you.
That too. But if it's steaming hot shit,
that could be
because it's thermal imaging.
It's called.
And I'm thinking this is.
He just might think you're a moving piece of shit. He just might think you're a tapeworm.
It's a big turd.
Or something.
That
like
is how Schwarzenegger survives. He's covered in mud.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, he would be hot mud.
Yeah, if your eyes are open.
Yeah.
They're gonna be able to see.
Yeah, the mud stuff I never got, but I like it. Like it's a great.
I've looked through thermal goggles at a naval base once, and like your eyes and your nose are like completely brightly lit.
Really?
And you could see your farts.
Really?
Yeah. Your farts are on thermal imaging.
Huge missed opportunity by Predator producers there to do that. And
by us to not have it ready and queued up that we have like some thermal image farts.
Oh. Because so nice.
It looks cool. Like
it exists. If you can think it.
It exists.
That's great. You know what? And here's the thing. Ending on a note of positivity, your dream, just keep crawling through that tube. You're going to defeat the Predator. You know how. You know what I mean? He's going to tap that nuke.
It's pretty sick that he's just a hunter. He's just like, I just want to hunt.
And he'll accept deals. He'll take deals. Like in all the other Predator movies are pretty bad, but the Adrian Brody one's not that bad actually.
The Adrian Brody one, in my opinion, is a stinking pile of dog shit.
So
but I did have fun with it.
Yeah,
but
that
the Topher Grace betrayal where he's working with the Predators, that's where you're like, what are we doing?
No humans are allowed to be. No. Bad. Luke, this was badass, bro. You're the freaking man. Luke, in for the co-host. We're gonna do another. Send us in. I think for that last segment, what does this mean? Send us in a story or a dream or a thought.
Yeah.
And we'll break it down. Because
that would be fun.
Yeah. We are experts at dream analysis. Yeah.
We are experts at dream analysis, and we'll tell you why your brain is inventing that.
Yeah.
You lunatic.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe we'll have some more fun, fresh segments and some repeats on the next one. Until then, stay stoked.
Grip it and rip it.